Welcome back, guys. We're back from break. Part 3 of the Elysian Theta Codex. Not complex, Codex. Jimmy, it's all
You'll
yours.
get it right.
Yeah, so the party has just eliminated some, possibly some Warren dwellers, it seemed, who had designs on
We
their...
basically killed hobos.
Yeah, you killed some hobos,
Well,
but
hey, they were
dangerous
attacking
hobos.
us.
They
Hey,
had,
instead of being
you
murder
saw-
hobos, we're hobo murderers.
you saw, oh, by the way, the third guy you killed had a pipe as well, a metal pipe.
Yeah, I didn't take that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Can I take metal pipe just in case? I don't think I have a knife.
It's not a.
Yeah, you
it's
can
not
take
a
a metal
pipe,
pipe.
Allison.
You can
like,
just pump.
It's not a
you
pipe.
can punch people too.
don't
Yeah,
need
do you
that
want
kind
it?
of
It's a
pipe.
little, it's some sort of conduit piping.
Padfoot 420 over here.
Some sort of heavy metal. Do you want it?
Yeah, I want it. Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
it's write that down on your character sheet. It's combat primitive weapon, so you get a -1 to use it. It does D4 1d4 damage. It's not in the it won't be in the weapon list, so you just need to write it in yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
like
could
stab
write
them
in you
with
can
club or
write in
whatever.
club. You can click club. Club is the same
Oh.
stats.
Okay.
But it's metal pipe. All
Here
right.
we go.
All right, so you guys are walking down a passageway. You hear some voices as you go along. You actually hear some like jingling stuff, and then like some like clearly like a hawker's cries, saying like, "I got $1 for credit." Or I guess it's credits. Credits for something. And you see up ahead like a little antechamber that opens up into a series of rooms. You'd have to explore the rooms further, but this is clearly an area where there's business being done.
Yeah.
You guys see poorly dressed people, and maybe not so poorly, but not wealthily dressed, hawking goods. A lot of them have blankets spread out. Right in the antechamber, it seems like they're not selling anything. There's more like some beggars like who like see you guys coming and like hold up their hands going like this for like credit chips if anybody is carrying credit chips on them, or whatever you wanted to give them. They don't get
I don't
aggressive.
give them anything.
Yeah, they don't get aggressive or anything. They're just in your face at first.
God,
Somebody's
it's like being at Metro Center.
like a carnival barker who's got some sort of weird like he's got a little like a compad stood up, and it's some sort of like weird game of chance that you're trying to bet on a number. It looks kind of odd. If you want to play it, you can.
Wait. Could you explain this one more in detail?
Yes.
Is it a spinning
Oh,
roulette
Lord.
game?
So he's got what seems to be something that he spins on the ground and it rolls a little ball around, kind of like roulette. But you're betting on some sort of probability that will display. Like so, it's like a weird like the chance of it being. You take a bet basically at it, like if it lands like okay, it's going to land on a number below 50. And he'll give you odds for that, and if you beat the odds, or if it happens, you'll exchange
it's like
money.
a loose form of roulette.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I'm trying to
It's
think.
probably. I mean, the wheel is clearly hooked up by some like jury rigged wires to the compad. You can play it. I can make the game up, but it looks like it's probably loaded in some way. So
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to think, because technically I could manipulate it.
I happen to have a chance cube.
do you? So what are your
I have to
your
be able to
psi
use
skills?
the force.
Unless you want to keep
Telekin-
telekinesis
It's-
level 1, and then what's the other one you took?
Biostasis.
Okay.
Bionics.
So telekinesis, it won't. I mean, yeah, you can adjust the flow of the ball, and you can fuck with it if you want.
I'm just trying to think, because I know, going into it, I know this is probably rigged, because it's not my first thing. But ripping off people who try to rip off other people's is, basically revenge sort of thing. But
Do you
don't
take
think I can
him
waste
up? He calls you. He sees, you there, good sir. I see you checking out my game of chance. Would you like to step right on up?
Well, first, I actually am trying to see how much.
I'm
money
looking
I
at
have.
him like shaking my head like.
Yeah, I haven't even stopped. I'm still going and assuming they're all
Yeah.
behind me.
And I gotta actually figure out how much.
Yeah, I'm following Margie.
I got 75 credits left. No.
I'm gonna
'Cause
grab Leon by the arm
I-
and be
I-
like, let's go. Let's we have
I
stuff to
gotta
do.
save my powers, so I don't have a lot yet.
So you guys walk on. This is a smaller room. There's only maybe like 10 people in here doing stuff, but the room opens up and there's two adjoining rooms, and you see just a bunch of people. Some of them have little makeshift carts that can maybe be packed up like to haul wares around. There's a lot of people down here. There's shoppers. There's people who are not dressed much differently than you guys who are poking around. You also
So, like,
see
armor? Or, like...
not armor, but like nicer clothes. They're not in rags. You do see some of them look desperate, some of them not. You do see occasionally some ladders or some steps leading upwards. So clearly there's other ways to get down right to this point, and to get out from here. But you don't know where you are in terms of the world above on the station, so...
Okay.
Such as it is. So you're in a big room. There's a bunch of people selling stuff. Presumably not all of it legal. You see a guy who's got blankets spread out that he's got about 30 semi-automatic pistols in various states of disarmament there. What do you guys do?
Looking for a tall, lanky man.
No, not tall. Short. He's 5'6".
Oh, that was 6'5". Okay.
No.
Oh yeah, I have 6'5".
Short. He's
Oops,
short.
well.
No, 5'6", 115 soaking wet.
That's why I was like 6'5", 115. That is obscenely
No,
skinny.
5'6". It's still pretty skinny, but not.
Okay,
obscene.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, looking around for Cletus.
Got it.
Yeah.
Why don't we? Is there like a search check? Or, so what?
Action, I guess.
Tell me about your So you're kind of on a mission. Why don't Margie, you've kind of led this, right? Give me a tactic. Give me a
suppose so.
tactics roll.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
I like
Trying to
this
get back to
tactics skill.
2d6.
When I read it, I was like,
intelligence?
what is this for? But this is cool.
Yeah, it could be for anything. Leon, he didn't need to roll tactics, but you actually had a very good tactical position, splitting 90
Yeah.
degrees. The
Jimmy, int?
yeah,
Versus
int in this
Okay.
case. Unless for some reason you're talking to people and trying to feel your way out, that would be charisma. But I think int is
Yeah.
the way to go this time.
No, so I'm just looking around, I guess. I don't think of a tactical way to approach it.
Cool. Okay, so you're glancing.
Unless I can...
You
Well,
see a woman actually, quite attractive. I don't know which way Margie swings, but a very attractive woman who's just holding a briefcase open. It looks like various unlabeled pills. Some what are probably hacked stims.
Yeah.
And some other things, and she gives you a little wink when you glance over at her, and you're kind of off put by this and distracted.
Yeah. I just keep looking, I guess.
Can I get a tactics roll? I'll take one from each of you to see how you handle the room. Maddie, why don't you roll tactics as well? I think all of
Yes.
you.
Okay. I click on the box.
And it's plus int. Nope.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
It's still a fail even with
Yeah.
bonus.
Eh.
Okay, so you're distracted aside by people who are actually selling some weapons that you don't have. You see, there's no laser weapons,
What's
but
that?
let me pull up my weapons chart real quick. Weapons. No, that's not how you spell weapons.
-1 int is gonna be the definite.
Was it -1 int? No. Okay. So Leon and Maddie both are just pulled over very quickly to two guys, twins actually they look like, and they have a number of various armaments. It looks like no laser weapons and no energy weapons, but going backwards, you see like a mountable heavy machine gun. You'd have to probably put it on some sort of vehicle, and it's kind of half assembled. It may need some work.
Nice.
You see what is probably a broken, also needing fixing and probably parts rocket launcher.
Oh, wow.
There's
I'm gonna use that for
there's a-
close range combat.
there is a number of shotguns and semi-automatic pistols. You do see one combat rifle.
Do I roll tactics as well?
Yes, please roll tactics. Everyone's
Hey, you're just good at me.
We have the worst rolls tonight, I swear.
Selfie, you see a guy who's in the corner. No one's moving far away from each other, but what attracts your attention is a guy who he's talking to somebody. Like there's one guy talking to like three other people, and he's sort of like hunched over, and he's gesturing to a data slab, it looks like, or a compad, and he's showing something or whatever. And then you overhear the words like, "Yeah, we could intercept the ship here. They should be loaded," and that's all you really hear.
Okay.
And then the noise rises again, and you don't really catch anything unless you got closer.
Yeah, I avoid them and keep my eye, make sure. I don't know, or take a look. They don't look familiar or anything.
No.
Okay.
So, could I do a perception check to see if I can spot?
Yeah, so you
Please,
guys basically, you don't go in with a plan. You're like, wow, there's a lot more people down here than we expected. So you walk on a little bit, and after a couple minutes, the room opens up. There's a kind of a passage, and then very short, like maybe 5 feet, and then it opens up into an even bigger room than where you were before. So why don't you do a perception check now?
All of us?
Just Leon for the moment, because he asked.
2d6. Now I have a -1, but I have +1 wisdom.
Yeah,
That's
it's a wisdom roll. Yeah, so it's a +0.
Yeah.
Okay. So you look around the room, and it's even more busy here. There's a lot of drugs being sold. There's also a lot of people clearly injecting things in corners. You actually see somebody who's got like a blanket roll over in the corner, and it's folded up, and he seems to there seems to be a distance between him and everybody else in the corner of the room. Now this room's like 30 feet by 30 feet. It's pretty large. But there's a guy in the corner, looks kind of like a beggar. You look around the room too. Yeah, he looks like a beggar, but he also looks like he's kind of hugging himself. And you notice the blonde hair, or the dirty blonde hair that Cletus may have had. But
Does he look like a meth dealer?
Does
he look like a bitch?
He's bent over, so you can't really see his features. So with that perception roll, you look around too. You step in and glance around the room, and you say someone else kind of double take at you. They look like just a homeless person who had been sitting against the wall doing the handout. But he sees you, and he actually drops his hand and just kind of stares at you. He doesn't look threatening, but
Who is this?
Leon. This is all to Leon.
Okay.
Okay, so now, Leon, what do you do?
Oh, the guy that's dropped his hand, I assume may have been one of the guys involved in that thing. I keep an eye on him, but I don't
A
believe
couple
him.
minutes ago. I mean, that was like 5-7 minutes ago. And they went
Yeah, he'd be
at least in an opposite direction, or you think they
Oh, okay.
so he'd be like panting and sweating if he ran here.
did. Right.
Yeah.
It was
I-
enough that they wouldn't be just you wouldn't think they would be blended in.
So I look.
In a corner that catches your eye that has the right hair match, and you see a beggar who takes note of you.
So I keep an eye on the guy who takes notice of me, but at the same time, I sort of point to the party, just like that might be him,
Okay?
and then I say we should probably check
do you
out that one first.
Yeah, I look at the person and I say, okay, fellas, swing around back maybe, and we'll go up and talk to him. We'll just walk close and say, hey, Cletus, and he'll react some way. Should be easy.
And I just I look at Sophie. I'm like, with me, type of thing. You know, we should not go individually, but in 2 small groups.
Son,
Wouldn't that be a bad thing?
you're with me.
Ooh. Sad.
Bam! Boom.
And
Everybody stops selling things and looks and goes, "Ooh, no."
No. We go around to the. I mean, is Can we approach him from behind, or is his back to a wall?
He doesn't seem to be paying. He's looking at the ground.
I mean, is his back to a wall? Like, can we approach
He's
him behind?
in a corner of some sort between stalls. Nobody's around this area. There's nothing much being sold. Nothing's happening. So it's just a guy. His head's down. You see the hair. He's kind of like curled up in like rags in a blanket of some sort. But you see a blanket roll that similar to the ones you've seen before, like that usually would have goods there, but it's folded up. He's not selling anything, and he's kind of like rocking. As you take a couple steps towards him, you do notice that he's
Yeah. So he's between stalls or in a corner?
It's effectively a corner.
Okay.
Facing outward. There's some stalls and makeshift walls near this part, and he's tucked into kind of within it.
Okay, so I mean,
So
whatever
there's
side
nothing-
they're not going, we would go from their side, I guess.
Yes, you won't be able to surround him, but he's not taking any notice of you right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So is
He
there...
doesn't have anywhere to run away from.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask: is there a trap door above him? Or...
No. It doesn't look like anything. You'd have to knock over some makeshift walls and make a big scene to try and get away right now.
So, Jimmy, when we get into position, I'm gonna very casually just let some rope drop from my harness. Like, it's not gonna move or anything. It's just like gonna say like, go down to maybe just past my knee in terms of length.
Okay, so you let out some of your whips and chains.
Oh, what's the chain? Just rope, Jimmy.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Some ropes. Maddie and Margie, where are you guys?
Yeah, I'm watching the fellas to see when they get in position, and then I just start approaching him.
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
approach beside Maddie.
I give
Margie.
I give the two girls the nod.
So,
Okay, I nod
you
back.
guys are standing kind of. Give me a picture of what you and Leon and Selfie are. How close you are and what you're paying attention to.
Well,
You didn't walk right up to him, right?
no, I'm maybe. Oh god, trying to put this in.
I think we're in front of the stall on the other side of where the girls are, like the stall next to him.
Got it.
And like we're not like actively talking to that person, maybe just doing a little peruse, but we're keeping attention, our peripheral vision on him.
Got it. Okay, so
And
the stall that you're
peripherals.
Using the periffs.
Yeah, the stall that you're focusing on is actually seems to be selling contact information to meet up with prostitutes.
Awesome.
The usual.
Yeah, there's very nasty pictures on
I
various, like
pretend to be interested.
Good nasty or bad nasty?
depends what you're into.
All right, Margie.
Gotcha.
Jimmy,
Okay.
I pretend to be interested to not look suspicious, but I want to make sure that I'm in range to do the little rope manipulation thing.
Yeah, so you're pretty close to him. You can kind of see him. He's only about 5 or 10 feet away from you.
Josh, you know the air quotes indicates opposite, right? So I pretend to
Well,
be interested.
Leon's
So you're
not the
interested.
person. Well, yeah, it's like Leon's not the person who would just hook up with
So
me.
Okay.
you take a dirty mag off the shelf, and you're just like not you're flipping it, but you're not looking at it. You're just looking at the guy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Staying professional the entire time.
Yeah, Maddie and Margie, you're approaching to move in position, but he hasn't taken any notice that somebody's. He's still got head down, and he's kind of like swaying and rocking a little bit.
Yeah. So
You're looking at a magazine, Leon, that advertises for it advertises for like robotic domination, something like. But you don't know quite what it means because you're not focusing on the.
SMN or something.
Yeah, but it's robotic. There's robots.
It's
like
robotic. It's the future.
moving on.
50 Shades of
Moving
Grey.
on. So
It's
I
weird.
turn back to Maddie and I say, make sure to watch my back. You know, you never know who this guy might have with him. I say, I'll focus on him. You focus on everyone else.
Gotcha. On
All
your
right. So I approach.
Do you guys have guns out?
Oh, of
I have
course.
mine on my side, but not like ready to be pulled or not out ready to shoot.
Okay.
They're visible on us, but we don't have them in our hands.
Yeah.
So you've seen some other weapons, obviously for sale.
Yep.
You've maybe seen a pistol at somebody's hip. Anyway, carry on.
Yep.
What do you do?
And my
So
new
I-
iron pipe.
So I walk up and get maybe within 10 feet or so, and if he still hasn't looked up, I say, "Excuse me, Cletus? We were told you were a man to see." Or I say Cletus first. Does he like look up?
Not immediately, but you're a man to see, and by that point, he looks up, and he looks up to you.
How does this guy look?
He
Does
looks,
he
looks
skinny,
yeah,
blonde?
he's even skinnier than 115 right now. He looks bad. His eyes are really sunken, and he's got it's like his veins. There's veins popping out in his face that look like bluish more than reddish.
Yeah.
Um,
So veins, not arteries.
right. Let's see. Nobody has tech medical, right?
I don't think.
I think you mean out of the two of us, right? Because we're closer.
And Maddie apparently is keeping an eye out. She might be just looking at him, but Margie, you can roll tech medical if you would like.
Yeah,
At the
I'll
sight
roll.
of his face when he looks up to you wide-eyed.
Yeah, and is that intelligence? I assume.
Yes.
All right, so I don't have it, but I'll.
It has not been an hour yet, by the way, so you don't have a reroll currently.
That's fine.
Oh,
Damn.
nailed it.
There, Mavros is a tough place. A lot of people try and escape while not being able to leave.
So yeah, he doesn't look high. He looks like he has some sort of radiation poisoning. There's something weird pumping through his veins. You can actually see what looks like to be the beginnings of a growth on his neck. Like the man has been subjected to some pretty high radiation in the past week to 3 months.
Yeah. So despite myself, I actually look concerned, and I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you Cletus?"
He kind of looks at you and he's like, yeah. He gets kind of crazy-eyed. He's like, yep.
Uh,
And he looks at you.
I just look at him for a second, and I say, "Okay, because Cletus owes us some money." And I see how he reacts.
He kind of like shakes his head. He looks up and he's a little bit clear-eyed. He's like, "Oh, who you coming from?"
are we in earshot range to hear this, or?
No, you're not.
You're pretty close. You see Margie talk. You see him respond. It's not loud where you are. You may have heard who and what, but like they're pretty close. They're not. You're in range to throw your stuff, but you're not like listening in. You could take a couple steps closer to actually listen in.
Is his feet visible at this point? Like,
I mean, he's sitting Indian style basically on the ground.
okay, well, I just very casually take a few steps. Like, obviously, I put the magazine back if this is going to be the case. I take a few steps, and I use. God, I gotta actually remember the name of the damn thing. It's this.
Telekinesis.
We're not. Well, it's telekinesis, but it's the one's actually called remote manipulation.
Yeah.
And I just have the rope basically start doing like a snake thing, very quietly.
So how long can you manipulate things for?
Unless specifically said otherwise, the power is in effect for 5 minutes.
Got it. Okay, so you like you activate your power?
Yeah.
Okay, so mark yourself down for
Yep. One left.
one left. I don't think you take a system strain for remote manipulation.
No, system training ones are really just ones involving medical.
Mm-hmm. So you the rope you feel goes stiff at your side. No one else is going to notice this, but you've got it activated, and you're concentrating. Why don't you describe for us when you're engaging your psychic powers? What do you look like, and what does it feel like to you, or to your vision or perception?
So, my appearance itself doesn't change, because being without going into backstory, trained psychic,
Mm-hmm.
I've had to use it covertly, and
Yeah, you've
like
got you've got military training.
so I've had to use it without basically look like I'm using it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I get sniped in a battlefield.
But what is it? What does it feel like? What happens to your perception, your vision, or your sense of smell, or your touch, or your
So
taste?
the things I control sort of like feel like a sixth sense in terms of like an additional limb or arm in terms of like control manipulation.
So you've got
So-
kind of an invisible arm that's got a grasp over things.
Yeah, it's like an invisible limb of sorts, depending on the powers that I use.
Okay.
And it's just making the rope like snake-like, moving down to be unnoticed, to just
Okay.
be around him.
Do you have any perceptual? I mean, remember this begins with a disease, and there's training to control it. But do you have any side effects that happen to you? They might be innocuous, but just like give us some description for the players anyway about like what you undergo when you're engaging this essentially
Disease.
a disease. Yeah.
Oh, see, this is a problem because we haven't gone into back history stuff yet, so I don't know if I want to particularly touch on this at the moment.
Is there anything visible to someone standing next to
So
you?
he said no because
None-
of military training.
Okay.
No.
But I'm just curious about what you are experiencing.
Memories.
He's
I
actually
don't-
shitting himself
no,
right
no.
now.
Memories I'm not very present with because I'm using.
Okay,
these
so you
powers.
have like memory flashback. You undergo flashbacks.
Just night. Yeah, but basically the equivalent of nightmares.
Yeah, so it doesn't interfere with your actual like perception skills unless you want to say that it does. But
Well, I don't think it would affect it. Basically, at nighttime when I actually try to sleep, it's really hard to sleep.
okay. So perhaps when you engage them, you actually get the sensation that you're, or something like a sensation that you're in a dream, or like like guys, like when you're in a nightmare or you're dreaming in real life. You might be in a landscape that shifts oddly, or like is colorless, or like you kind of like the hints that you may be in a dream world rather than awake. Perhaps when you engage your psychic powers, this kind of happens to you, and you have control over it through extensive and possibly brutal training. But it doesn't affect you in any roles or anything. But just bear that in mind, that when you're going through
Yeah.
things, you suddenly feel like you're not in reality. You're not quite sure in the end if you've fallen asleep, and this is something that has happened otherwise, like in your head rather than in reality. Okay, yeah, just for like color and development, it's useful to have these little tags.
Yeah.
Okay, so you engage your power. Great, bam,
Yeah,
done.
and I move the rope, like I said, like it's not going to be like around him, but I just like want it close to him so that if he does something stupid, I can just like sort of like snake crap.
Yeah,
down.
you're close. So your line lets out a bit more, and it's actually resting on the ground and wavering a little bit. But you don't want to give away that's being manipulated. So, it's only a couple feet away from his feet, and your turn to look at him. I take it.
Yeah, well, I have like an eye focused on him, like trying to be like this
Okay.
way, but
Well, he's not looking at you. He's looking at Margie. Selfie, what do you
Yeah.
do? Real quick.
Haven't moved any closer. I'm still fainting interest in this prostitution stand.
Okay, somebody who's like a big fat man, really nasty looking, warty man, is talking to somebody, but he keeps eyeing you, so he may approach in a little bit.
All right, I'm just like I said, not stepping super close to what's ever going on with Cletus, but I'm there if we need to.
Got it. You're close. Margie, keep going.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
I
I wanted to get some background detail on this stuff, but
no problem.
didn't mean to drag it out. Go ahead.
So I look at him and I kind of nod and I say, "Got a couple of people looking for money?" Because he asked who sent me.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And he goes, "Maybe." He just kind of his breathing kind of accelerates.
Yeah. I say, D sent us.
His breathing starts, and he stops. He goes, "Oh, yeah, oh,
Yeah.
I got. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. No money.
What do you have? We can't go back to her empty-handed. You know that. You're a smart guy.
Yeah, so he despite himself, he glances at the blanket that's folded up next to him. He's like, no, nothing. I got some credits. I got credits. And he reaches in and he's got a few credit chips. It's maybe
Yeah, and as he reaches, I put my hand on my knife.
Yeah.
I say nice and slow.
He doesn't really slow down. He fiddles in his pocket
Yeah.
longer than necessary, and then pulls out and drops like 5. Maybe actually it's not that much. It's probably like 50 credits worth of chips.
Yeah. Say, okay, why don't you wrap them up in that blanket? 'Cause that's coming with us too. And I kind of nod at his little blanket roll.
He like looks at it and just stares at it.
I say, Cletus, over here. You did this to yourself. 3,000 credits you owe her. 3,000.
He's like kind of like looks at you and is like, I know, it's a lot. I can pay it. Dee knows me. She trusts me. I can pay it back. And then in his hand, he's got the blanket and he's kind of like pulling it towards him like he's gonna hide it behind him.
Yeah. I
just
say,
kinda shaking my
Cletus,
head like-
you look like you're gonna... You don't look good. You need some help.
I don't need anybody. He's
You
a little
look-
bit of wild look in his eye.
Yeah.
He's starting to look suspicious now with his random movement, I take it.
It's really, really quickly. Keep it on Marjorie right now. All he did is he suddenly gets a bit of a crazy look back in his eye. His clarity is passing, and he's like, "I don't need anybody."
I kind of like walk a couple steps because I'm like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
I walk a couple steps closer and I kind of go down, get down on his level a little more, and I say, Cletus.
He scrambles back, not far, but he just takes.
Yeah, he's in the corner already.
Yeah. He just like leans back a bit.
And I'm kind of like down on my haunches, and I say, Cletus, you have radiation poisoning. That lump on your neck, that's probably a tumor. And I'm guessing it's not a goiter by the size of it. You need to get medical treatment. Okay? And you can't do that if we have to break both your legs. And I don't want to do that. Dee wants you to pay her back. But from the look of it, you can't do that right now. So here's what's going to happen. Cletus, look at me.
Yeah, he wanders, but then looks back at you.
Cletus, look at me. You're going to give me that sack that you're not hiding very well behind you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go topside. You're going to go to a free clinic. And you're going to tell them whatever they ask. As far as your medical condition, of course, not your business practices. You following me, Cletus, so far?
He
'Cause if you don't-
stares. He stares and just clenches his hand over the blanket roll.
I say, Cletus, if you don't do that, we're going to hurt you. But we're not going to kill you. But that tumor will. So you're going to give me what you have there. And then you're going to go up and get that treated. Because if you don't, you will die within the next week. I used to be a medical professional, but I got into a little rougher line of work. And I kind of like move my rifle on my shoulder.
Yeah, he notices the rifle for the first time. His hand is still clenched on it, but it just lets go, and he just leans forward and like starts like wrenched crying. He's just bawling and coughing, and it turns into a coughing fit.
Okay. So I look at him and I say, Cletus, can you do that? Can you slide that over toward me and then go get yourself some help? Because if you don't,
he actually like gets away from it, backs away, clutches his knees, and he goes, "Yeah, you don't know what I could have had." I mean, he's like, it's hard to hear, but he says, "You don't know what I could have had. You don't even know. You don't even get it."
No,
But
I
I'm
don't.
done. I'm done.
Look, Cletus, you're gonna be done a lot sooner if you don't listen to what I'm saying, okay? So why don't you slide that over? And hey, go into the hospital under a fake name, 'cause then the other people that are looking for you will have a harder time finding you.
Yeah, so he's bawling. He kicks the blanket towards you. He's like,
Okay.
"You don't know." He actually looks up. He like stops crying for a minute. He's like, "You don't know.
No.
It could have all been better. It could have been better. I was doing a good thing. I had a plan,
Yep.
and it was working."
I'm nodding, and I'm coming. As I'm nodding, I'm approaching, and I'm slowly leaning down and grabbing the bundle blanket and slowly.
The credit chips are at your feet because that's where you left them.
Yep. I just toss them into the blanket too.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't even
the blanket
look what's
towards
in it.
you.
Yep. So I pull it back, and I look back to the Maddie for the first time and hand her that.
Okay.
I take it.
And
Dutifully.
I walk a couple steps closer again and get down on my haunches and I say, Cletus, I don't know what you've been into, but you got a big dose of radiation poisoning. So I'd get yourself out of here. And if anyone asks, if D asks, anyone that D would know asks, we roughed you up something fierce. You feel me?
He looks up, and
Because-
you've seen this look before, Maddie, with people who've accepted conversion, like
Conversion?
religious conversion.
Oh.
He just looks up and he's like, "Thank you." Yeah. And he leans over to try and I don't know, hug you or something.
I kind of hold again. I put my hand back on my knife and kind of hold up a hand, and I say, "The best way you can thank me, get yourself well, and then pay D back the rest, because this probably ain't gonna cover it. You feel me?"
He nods a lot. He's just like, "Yeah."
Okay. I slowly stand up and back
So
away.
he actually grabs at your pants a little bit and crawls forward.
I back up a little more quickly, and I sort of pull the knife, but keep the blade covered so that other people. Cletus.
I mean,
Yeah, no one.
people have glanced over, but you're not really making the scene. It's quiet.
Yeah,
he
and
says, he says, "You got to know where I got it."
No, we don't.
No,
We
no.
don't want to be involved.
I sort of poke an eyebrow and nod in the direction of.
Josh, you're not there.
He's pretty close, but
I'm pretty
you
close.
heard that. You've heard a lot of this conversation since you moved closer to be in range with your ropes. And
Where
you
you
could
got
nod,
what?
but Margie's
Where
not looking.
Yeah. Where you got what? It's not what's in the blanket, is it?
He stops and he's like, "I don't want to go back there." And he goes back to a corner and is
Okay.
weeping.
Like it's time to
Yeah,
go.
I put my knife
Time
back
to
and
go.
I'm like, Maddie, open that up and look what's in it. I thought it was just drugs, but it might not just be drugs.
I kind of open it and peer in. What do I see besides drugs?
You see
Severed heads.
a
dead
palm-sized disc.
A
Palm-sized
palm-sized disc?
disc.
Think about
That's
a small teacup platter size dish. What are those little plates called?
Like a data disk?
No.
Trying to play.
Yeah, okay. So you put a teacup in a little plate that you.
Yeah.
And it's about that size, but it's got a disc. That's all you see when you glance at it quickly.
Yeah, I asked, do you know what it is?
I don't think
Let me
so.
let me
no.
see. And
I don't know if you should actually touch it. Just, I mean,
no, I know that. I want to see it though. And
my hand
is
over
there
the
an
back.
appropriate tech skill?
Yeah. Can you give me a sci-tech check, please?
Can I also try, seeing as we're both looking at it?
Yeah. So if you guys both take a peek at it.
Yeah. So is this a
Yeah.
intelligence then to know what it is?
Yes, for you, it's your
Ooh.
intelligence. So first, Maddie, tell me, you can help, but tell me how you're going to help. What can you add to this?
I mean, I would like to think that, since I trained here as a mercenary, I might have seen this in passing, seeing as I've been in the Warren before, I guess you could say, albeit briefly. So perhaps it's something that I've seen through my training, through my little bit of time down here in the underground.
So if it is pre-tech, you've never seen it in your training is the problem.
Wait,
Oh,
pre-tech
well-
or sci-tech?
I said sci-tech.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
pre-tech.
Pre-tech. Okay.
Oh.
You can help. You can help.
And-
Maybe you just want to examine it for what it looks like, or just like use some intuition.
Take a guess.
Margie's finding
Maddie,
gold mines today.
This is just helping. So why don't you give me a I'm looking at your skills.
Perception to investigate what it looks like.
Okay, yeah, give me a perception check real quick. He looks like a bitch. I just
Yeah, he does.
I was gonna say back.
Yeah,
I was
no,
gonna,
this guy
basically-
totally looks like a bitch. This guy.
I was just
totally
gonna
looks
honk
like
try the shit out of him, but now
So,
I feel bad.
do a perception check. 2d6. It
Yeah,
is.
you feel bad.
It is
I'm, like,
wisdom.
stealing one of
Wisdom
yours.
based. You have no bonus. So it's just 2d6 flat. Maddie.
Sorry.
2d6.
Bam.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay. So you're
okay.
you're looking at it. You'd glance. And this is right when Margie's coming over. You notice that this disc, there's like a symbol, but you clearly get that one side is marked up and one is down. The upside is up on the blanket that you have. That's all you see from the blanket now. You also see actually tucked back in another fold of the blanket, you didn't notice originally, that there is what looks like a
matching
little
teacup.
closed container, like maybe like pen-sized case, but it's shiny and closed, and it has on its cover has a symbol of a clenched fist, kind of like this.
Fight the power.
Yeah.
And does she recognize?
No.
Yeah, do I? Okay.
You don't
Can
know.
I do a similar check on that?
No. So why don't you? That's what you saw in your perception check. You noticed up and down indicators on the palm-sized disc.
Okay.
And you relay this to Margie really quick. So Margie, take your pre-tech check with a +1.
Okay. And since we've been looking for him for a while, has it been an hour?
Yeah, I'll say it's been an hour because you were leisurely about going through this month.
Yeah.
It's been about an hour since.
Yeah, we didn't have proper tactics, so it took us longer.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Do it.
Fuck.
You can't tell what it is. You glance quickly.
Yeah.
But you're
I tell it's pre-tech?
you have an insinuation that this is what looks to be in good condition pre-tech. And actually, it's not that you can't tell what it is right now, but your senses get the better of you. You button up and you look around, and you're in the Warrens with a bunch of lowlifes around you. So
Yep. And pre-tech. So,
yeah,
how big is, like, if I crunch the blanket, then it's only like
very.
this big?
It's about the object in there is this big.
Yep.
The case is rectangular, but it's about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I just stuff it into my backpack and zip that up. So I've got a shotgun disassembled and a pre-tech artifact in there, and I say, "Okay, let's go." And I
Do you
nod.
say-
Time to go.
Do you say to anything to Maddie about what it is? Because she didn't know it was pre-tech.
No, I don't say anything at all.
Okay, so you quickly stuff it in and you say, "Let's go." Cletus is just—he's not even looking. He's just
Yeah.
rocking
So
and kind of crying quietly in a corner.
Yeah, as I'm stuffing it into a backpack, do I notice anyone watching us?
Why don't you make a perception check?
Sure.
Selfie, because you've been less focused on the goings on. No, you don't know anything. Why don't you make a perception check too?
Okay. This is wisdom, right?
Yeah. 8. Selfie, you see. So they're quickly bunching something up in this. This seems to be breaking down. So you scan the room. You see a back where kind of you came in, a beggar who's got his hand up, but he occasionally glances towards you guys, and you notice that it's a little bit. He glances twice in too short of a time span that he seems to be keeping an eye, not watching you, but keeping an eye on where you are.
So, like, directly at our party multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay. Has Margie... Have we, like, stepped away from Cletus at this point, or are we...
Nothing's happened yet. I just gave you a perception check right as things seem to be wrapping up. So, what do you guys do?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
so
just waiting for a signal, so.
Yep, I pack it up and I give him a head jerk like a let's go.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
rope just goes
Roll out.
back up.
Okay.
He reels back in his rope.
Retractable penis engaged. Okay, are you just going back the way you guys came?
No, God no. So I motion to Leon, and I say, motion him up so he's nice and close, and I say, we need to get out of here. Alternate route. What do you think the best way is?
Are we all grouped up, or is it just you and Leon?
Yeah, we're all grouped up, but I motioned Leon over.
Yeah, I
I'm
kind of...
asking
Well,
you.
as you're talking about this, I kind of just nod over in the direction of the beggar. I'm like, this guy over there checking us out. More than acceptable for a random...
Yeah,
Leon,
So
you
what-
recognize him as the same beggar you took note of.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, I saw him when we came in. He was,
Okay, so
I
let's
noticed him.
let's get out of his sight range then.
um,
Opposite way.
so when I was scanning the room, did I notice other exits?
Yeah, so there's actually two exits. One to the north and the south. You came in from the east.
Do we see people going up and down them?
There's no exits up and out onto the street immediately here. You do
Yeah.
see people heading back the way that you guys came from, and along the north passageway. You haven't
Okay.
seen anybody right now, anyway, go down the south passage.
Yeah, I nod north and I say let's go with them. I think we want to avoid the scene we created earlier.
I just nod and I obviously I can't go first in the rank and file because of the briefcase, but
Yeah.
I
So
just wait for someone
Yeah.
to go
That's right, I
first. and I
forgot
follow
you.
them.
I say selfie. Come up here with me, and we just start walking.
Yeah.
Maddie, make sure to watch if anyone's following us.
Yeah, I'll
Leon,
take the
you
rear.
stay in the middle with your cargo.
I just like nod.
So I'll make a
Okay.
note of checking kind of over my shoulder with some frequency without being too obvious about it.
Yeah, like
you know,
you turn to stalls as you
Yeah,
pass,
yeah,
like,
like turning,
oh, what are
stopping,
you selling?
looking.
Oh,
Yeah.
that guy's following.
So
me.
Okay, so you
what
guys
I-
walk up. The room narrows, bottlenecks. There's still shops, and then it goes out into a passage. You can see in the passage that says "To Cargo Hold A,"
Mm-hmm.
and there's no one out, no one walking like abreast with you. You'd notice people going this way, but you don't see anybody right now. So the way is clear. Go for it. You exit.
So we saw people going up that way.
There's
Right.
nobody going up towards the surface. There are people who have gone out this way that you've noted at some point in this time that you've spent down in this.
So is there a random beggar about?
Yeah, so as you're leaving, just like in the entrance before, there's a couple moldy-looking guys kind of like shaking their hands at you.
I actually go up to one and I say, "How would you like to make 5 credit?"
He looks up and he says, 10.
How would you like to make 10 credit?
I'd like it very much. Honored, sir.
Quickest way to get out using this exit.
Street
Yes.
level.
Yes, you go down. You hang a left. Go to
You
a
come
cargo
with
bay.
us and you show us, please.
Han,
He kind of looks over and he eyes the four of you, and then he sees a sniper rifle on Leon's back, and he's like,
yeah, just very detailed directions if you'd be so kind.
yes, yes.
I look at Travis, I'm like, I don't want anyone.
Left.
I
Go
don't know.
left, take another left. Don't take a right at the T intersection. Go straight. You'll get to cargo hold A. Go through the back and go down towards the section that's labeled cargo hold D. Follow the pathway for 50 meters, and there's on the wall there'll be a ladder up. Leads you towards the he names an intersection in above.
I nod, and I
Can
give
we
you.
do? Can I do a perception check to see if he's making bullshit up, or like is he obviously remembering a path?
No, he's pointing it. He's like
Yeah.
he's gesturing it.
Yeah.
You don't need to. He looks like he's telling the truth.
Okay.
It's fine.
I
Look,
give it
it's
10
left
credits.
at a T intersection.
Yep.
Go through the cargo hold.
A, then
Go
D,
to-
then up.
You want to go to A and then D and then look for a ladder up.
Yeah.
I give him the 10 credits and I say thank you.
Yeah.
And I like gesture to the party.
Take off 10 credits. He bows to you and says, "May Almighty Vaishna protect you."
You too, dude. And I just shrug that off.
that pricks your
You
ear.
too, dude.
That pricks your ear, Maddie.
Vishnu or Vaishna? Or...
He says Vaishnu. But that pricks your ear, selfie. Looks like this is somebody else who's bounced out from your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And I just like,
That's
let's
all.
go that way. And when we get away from people, my hand is basically reached to draw a pistol at this point.
Yep. Okay, you guys go. No problems. Maddie,
Yes.
you see no one following you.
This is good. I like this. I continue to stay vigilant though, despite that, and continue bringing up the rear for the group.
Okay.
In the rear with the gear.
Yeah, dog.
So you guys go. It's pretty straightforward. There's only a left to take when he said take a left, which is a little silly. You see cargo hold A. You approach it. Cargo hold A is kind of like where you first entered. There's just sleeping bags laid out. There's nobody in it. It's just
Yeah, so are we back in? We're just down the tunnel we didn't go.
No, you're continuing on further from where you started from.
This means that
So
once we get to
is it
we'll
this? Okay, all right.
I'm not like being clear about
Yeah, because it's
how
a
things are
serpentine,
related. Yeah, it's serpentine, and I'm not being really clear about where things are related to one another.
On purpose,
unless
because-
you would like me to, I could draw
No.
it out for you. But
I just you said that, and I thought you meant we're back in the same room, and then I'm like,
you're
oh,
back
okay,
in,
the right
in
path.
cargo hold A, which looks like not the cargo hold, but the original room you started in, like right when you got down into the Warrens.
I
It's
assume
a
that
similar type of room.
Oh.
In other
Sure,
words,
I was like, are we
Sim-
in the same
Sure.
room?
Anyway, yeah. Do we see a ladder?
No.
we follow the
So
rest.
you're going. We're not quite there yet. You see the sign for. You see the sign for
cargo hold D.
cargo hold D, and I need you, who's ever out front. In fact, I need the whole party to roll stealth checks.
Oh.
Yeah, that's something I'm actually good at.
I have a 0
And that's
in
a
stealth.
dex modifiers.
Really, my being good at it is just 2d6 at this point.
2d6 plus dex.
Plus
Awesome.
dex.
And how does this work with a group?
Oh.
Do
Oh,
we
wait.
average out? Because
I'm
I have a
I'm
question.
kind of taking that into account, but I'm
Okay.
guesstimating it. Margie, you said you were out front, right?
absolutely,
Okay.
I'm moving the quietest.
I have a question.
Yeah,
real
you're
quick.
moving the quietest. So in your yeah, go ahead. What's your question, Allison?
So you said we're doing stealth, but we're doing it with dex. So on my actual skills list, it has a -1 for stealth. But then I went up and looked at my dex, and the mod is 1.
So it
so
would
I'm
be a
confused.
plus 0.
Plus 0.
Okay, but
So you
why does
got a
it say that my stealth is -1 then?
Because
but-
stealth isn't always like the
So-
skills aren't always tied to one ability.
So
Like
I
you
can have
could
you roll stealth in terms of strength if you were trying to quietly lift something. for
Oh,
example.
okay. Okay, well
Or
that would
you're
be...
trying to maneuver in a battlefield in a very good position, like hide behind a meteor. You'd
It might
use
be
intelligence to try and
Yeah.
hide the ship behind a rock.
So
Okay.
so in other words, you use
So that
the
should be a
modifier I gave you.
7.
So you actually got a 7.
Yes.
You don't have a minus
I was
one.
confused by that.
Okay, so there's 2 of you passed, 2 of you didn't. Maddie, you said you're in the middle. Margie's up front.
No, I'm in the back.
she's
So
in the back, I'm in the front.
okay, so there's some noise being created, but you round a corner where it says it's still a straight path here. You round a corner, Margie.
Yep.
And you up ahead see some shapes on the ground, perked up and like looking around, but not looking towards you.
I hold up
Oh.
my hand to stop the group since I'm leading.
Okay. You
well,
just
just-
rounded the corner, so
Okay, yeah. So they just see my hand. They don't see anything.
Mhm.
Do these shapes look like people?
no,
No.
they don't at all.
Oh
They
shit.
look like
Dogs.
Rats.
Are they dire rats?
they look like they might be a rodent's evil cousin. There's some a pack of nasty looking rodent-like creatures sniffing around.
How big are they?
Size of a small elephant.
Size of a small elephant. They're somewhere between ferret-sized and like
Labrador
maybe like they're like ferret or fox size, somewhere in there.
Okay, so
Oh,
they're
shit.
maybe 20 pounds ish.
Yeah.
If they were filled out, which they might not
A
be.
good comparison, Allison. They're about you don't see them, but they're about the size of Tilda.
Aw,
Okay.
Tilda.
So
Tilda's close to 50 pounds, but she's pretty small in terms of profile.
yeah, so I look around because I just rounded the corner. Do I see people in this room? Is it empty?
No, it's a long passageway.
Okay.
And there's a sign right around the corner that says towards cargo hold D. It's pointing you down this
Yeah.
direction.
So I slowly reach back and slowly take my rifle off my shoulder. And obviously everyone behind me sees this, and I kind of give a finger
Yeah,
up.
So when you
Pull a
do
pistol.
the like removal of it,
Yeah.
the closest body towards you looks over at you.
By the way, has it been 5 minutes yet? I have to ask.
Yes, it is past 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hold my finger up, obviously, by my mouth, and I slowly put my rifle up.
The thing screams when it looked over you, and it screams and
Oh, no.
bolts towards you, and up,
Towards me?
yeah, and
Oh,
you see
God.
the shapes of many others coming towards you too.
Okay.
You guys like this
Yeah, so I...
initiative.
Initiative, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm a bit faster this time.
I'll look at the initiatives in 1 second. I'm.
Is
gonna
it still like +9 +1 +1?
No. Initiative is D8 plus your
Oh,
dex.
that's right. D8 plus your dex.
Oh.
The only thing that's a
Fair.
D20 is combat rolls, I believe.
It could be worse.
Yeah, so they see me slowly raising my rifle and they hear scream, 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 scream.
It's like
Oh, God.
it's not like annoying rat sounds. It's more like a scream. Like it's like.
Oh god, oh god.
You hear a chorus of them, and they're bolting towards you. Okay, let me write
Yeah.
down.
Maddie would go before
I'm
me,
gonna
'cause I have
do
no
just
dex
for the
modifier.
sake of you're in a hallway. They're getting group initiative because I don't want to roll for every single.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
and how long have we been going here?
It's been an hour, so we could break here if you want.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
please.
might be a good point.
Good.
Yeah.
Break.
Alright, guys, we'll be back in 5 or so minutes to see how we fare against the rat people.
Cletus.
If we die,
So, I'm
rat.
impressed by you
Grab people,
handling it.
grab people.
This is
See you
where I
guys
need some
soon.
grenades.